Hi and welcome in this video. Today I will show you how to create this simulation inside Cinema 4D. It's a pretext to show you as many options as possible. I will try to explain everything and to give you the tools to have very good simulation at every time. Okay, before starting, I would like to introduce you to the motion designers community. It's a Facebook group with lots of people where you can spread your works and ask some question if you can't find the answer on Google. You can meet so many people. It's a very nice Facebook group. If you want some inspiration, you can go in the Instagram Motion Designers. It's the account of the Motion Designers community. And every day you have lots of new posts, so you can have nice inspiration and see what is trending on the internet right now. Ok, et si t'es français, il y a la version française disponible. Let's start with Cinema 4D. I will start with the ground. Up the ground, I will find it here, so I click and I release my click on the plane. I will increase the width segments and height segments by 100. I need lots of polygons because I will deform my plane to have my base shape here. I will use a deformer. I will show you a quick tips. Select your plane and go in the deformer and before releasing your click on the displacer, hit shift. And if you do that, the displacer will go in as a child in your plan. So you will earn lots of time every day if you use these tips. Okay, the displacer will deform my plane. I will use a shading. The shader is black and white information. The white is the up part and black is the part in the bottom. So you can load an image, but here I will load a noise. The basic noise is perfect. As you can see, I have some smooth mountains. I will click on the shader on my noise to increase the global scale. Okay, I think 415 is nice for the tutorial. I will go back by clicking this row, or I can click on Displacer 2. I will go in the Object tab and I will increase the height. I really like to put value to high because it's more easier to select the right value in the strength. Okay. Now I will hit and then B to modify the visibility in my viewport, the display, okay? It's here and then B. And you can play with the number of segments. If you need more segments, you can increase the value. And if 100 is enough, you can let 100. I think 66 will be perfect. More polygon you will have, more longer the simulation will take. Okay? Oh, it's not a good sentence. So try to have a poor value of segments. But 166, it's quite the same, so 100 is nice. Okay. Now I will create the main ball, the huge one, and I will apply some dynamics on it. So to create a sphere, you click here and you go on sphere. I will hit T and I click and drag in an empty space, okay, to decrease the size of my ball. I hit Shift to modify the scale by 10. I increment the scaling by 10, okay? I will hit E to move my sphere and put it up. You have the move tool, the scale tool, and the rotate tool here with the shortcut, okay, R, T, and E. I will put it just here. Nice. Now I did a tag on this sphere to tell to Cinema 4D to apply some dynamic on this sphere. So to do that, I will right click on my sphere, go on simulation tags, okay, and hit rigid body. The rigid body have dynamics on, and when I hit play, you have some gravity applied. By default, there is a good gravity on Cinema 4D. Okay, so now I want this sphere to hurt the plane and bounce on it. So I need another tag on my plane. So right click on it, simulation tags, but I don't want my plane to fall down. So I will use the collider body. The collider body, it's the same tag, but the dynamic is off. It's the only difference. Now if I hit play, I can see my sphere is have some collision with my plane. You can see that the collision, the shape of the collision isn't good. So you have to change something in the tag here. So you have to go in the collision tab and you have to modify the shape. The shape have to be in automatic mode dynamics. Now it's working nicely. Okay, so what it means? Automatic mode dynamics is very fast and it allows Cinema 4D to use the real shape of your object. If it's not working very well, okay, if you need something better, you can choose the static mesh for a static object. And if the object is moving, you can use a moving mesh. It's better, but it takes more time to calculate. So when automatic mode dynamics is it's nice, for me it's okay. You always use automatic mode dynamic, okay? And now, boom, it's nice. The automatic shape by default is nice for a cube. It's nice for a plane, a disk. It's nice for a sphere, but not for another shape like my plane with a displacer. Okay. Now, I don't want any bounds, so I select the first tag, I hit Control and click on my second tag, and I will modify the bounds value. I will put it to 0, and the friction, I will put it to 0.2, and the collision noise, I will put it to 0. The collision noise is a random value to always have a different simulation. I really hate that, so always put it to 0 for me. The friction will allow your ball to roll on the plane more longer. Okay, I will disable this sphere for now because it's finished for it, and I would create the other little balls. So to do that, I hit NA to have another display. I will create another sphere and I will decrease the size. Okay, I think nice. And I will use a cloner. So I select the sphere. The sphere have to be as a child in the cloner. So I select my sphere, I go in MoGraph, cloner, and before I hit Alt. And now the cloner is the parent of my sphere. If I hit Shift, the object is as a child. And so Alt is the opposite effect. So my cloner, I will use the mode object, and I have to link the plane in my cloner. Before do that, I suggest you to disable the cloner. Why? Because when you put an object here in object, by default, the distribution is vertex. And if you look, you have so many vertex. So here it's okay for my computer, and I guess it's okay for you too. But you have to take this habitude, go in Google Translate, this habit. You have to take this habit because the day when your object is too dense, many polygons, your computer will crash. So I disable my cloner, I link the object, and I change the distribution. And here I need the surface. Okay, now I can activate my cloner and I have my balls cloned on the surface of my object. Now I can play with the count of more spheres. I think 500 is nice. Okay. I will change the shape of my spheres, okay? So I click on the sphere and I will use hexahedron. Okay, I think it's better for simulation. The repartition of polygons is more homogeneous. And the simulation is better. You can decrease a little bit the number of segments to have simulation more easier to calculate for Cinema 4D. Okay. Now I want to look where is my focal point for the camera. Okay. So the sphere is going that way. It's perfect. So I don't need all of this part. So I will duplicate my plane. I will select the plane and the displacer, right click and connect object and delete. I will name it for cloner. And I link this new object for my cloner. Okay. Now I will move this object just a little up, okay? And I will delete the polygons, the area that I don't want. So I go in polygon mode, I select my live selection tool, I will increase the radius. You can use the mouse wheel button to increase or decrease the radius, and I select polygons I don't need. Okay. You can hit Shift to complete your selection and hit Control to deselect some polygons. Nice, and now I will hit Delete. When you delete some polygons, points still remains. So to delete all points, you have to right-click on an empty space and hit Optimize. You don't have to be in the points mode. You can do it in polygon mode or edges mode. Okay. And now, as you can see, with the same number of sphere, I have it's more dense. Okay. So it will be more easier for your computer to calculate the simulation. I will hide this object. I don't want to see it in my viewport, and I don't want to see it in my render. So I hit Alt and I double click on this little sphere, circle here. Okay, and when it's red, you will not see it in the render and you will not see it in the viewport. Okay, I will disable the tag too. I delete it because my sphere will bounce on this object, okay? And we don't want that, so I click it, delete, and now it's better. Okay. I will increase the value here, 800, nice. Now I need some simulation on every sphere. I will show you how to create that. To put some simulations on your sphere, you just have to create a tag on the cloner. You can duplicate the tag from the sphere. So I click and drag this tag, and before releasing my click, I hit Control. So I duplicate the tag. You can see a plus icon near the arrow of my mouse when I hit Control. Okay, if you move your tag and you want to disable these options, you can press Escape from your keyboard and it's okay. If I hit play, you can see that all balls are like one object. So in the tag, I suggest you to activate the dynamic tab and collision. To do that, you click on dynamic and you keep your click and go on collision. Poof, you have both tabs visible. Okay, so trigger immediately, okay. And I want to change the inherit tag, okay, and I will use apply tag to children. It means that this tag is on the sphere and not on the cloner. It's on the cloner and on my sphere too, okay? It duplicates the tag for every child. Individual elements, I really like to use all. It means that thanks to Kashish Katerians, welcome to the community. And okay, all means that if I put my cloner in null, so you select your cloner, you hit Alt G to create a null, and you put the tag here. The tag will be active on the null, on the cloner, on my sphere, etc., etc. If I choose second level, the tag will be applied on my null, on my cloner, and not on my sphere. And if I use top level, it's only on my sphere. So I always use apply tag to children, individual element all, and shape automatic mode dynamic. Because in 99% of simulation, those parameters will be awesome. So I suggest you to create, to put this value every time. I don't want bounce, I don't want friction, I don't want collision noise. So it's lots of modification that I do every day. I don't want to do it. I prefer to have my tag. When I create my tag, I want those options here. So you can use edit, save as default, and press yes. When you do that, the next time you will load your tag, you will have those parameters. And it's really awesome to save a lot of time. Okay, and now I will hit the simulation and in the war. Okay, it's not, it's okay for me, but sometimes when you have some objects in another object, when you start the simulation, you will have a huge explosion and lots of balls will go very far away. It's not good, so I will show you how to avoid this issue. Okay, so if you have a huge explosion, you have to go in your tag and the tab force, and you will use the follow position. Set this value at 10. 10 is a high value, okay? Click here to create a keyframe, go to the next frame and put the value to 0 and save another keyframe. So at the start of the simulation, you have a high value of follow position, and just after, you don't have follow position. Now, if I hit play, you can see the difference, okay? And if you have a huge explosion at the start, it will be very better after that. Now I have big problem because I have some spheres falling down, okay? And when spheres are very down, the simulation becomes very hard for Cinema 4D, okay? Because the size, the shell size of the simulation is very huge. So I have to avoid this with another collision object. I will show you how to create that. So I will create a cube. Okay, I decrease a little bit his size, nice. And I will activate separate surfaces. Okay, and now I will create a null here, and I will call it collision objects. Okay, so I need my plane in, I need my cube in, and I put the tag on this null, and in collision I will put apply tag to children, all, automatic mode dynamic. It's perfect. Okay, so now I have a tag on my cube and my plane. This cube, I will hide it to my render and to my viewport, and I have to edit this cube. So I click here, I hit C, and now I have separate faces. So before editing your cube, you have a volume. So inside the cube, it's it's full of. Okay, so the spheres can be inside this cube. But now I have 6 faces and no volumes. So it's working. Okay, and you have a shell. And all spheres stay on my plane. Perfect. Maybe I have to increase this value to have better simulation. Something more nice. Okay, now I want to add some randomness for the size of my spheres. I will select my cloner, go in MoGraph effector, and I will use the random one. The random effector in the tab parameters allows you to modify the scale randomly. So I check scale, check uniform scale, and up you have the difference. Little spheres and huger one. Okay, if it's not working, you go on your cloner, go in the effector tab and click and drag and drop the effector randomization in the effectors. Okay, you can activate or deactivate an effector. Okay, cool. Boom. Nice. Now I don't want to wait 10 frames each time, okay? I need initial state. So I play and I will wait until my sphere is not moving. Okay, I think it's okay. Wait a little bit. Up. Perfect. So now you have to choose the good numbers, the good count of spheres. If you want more spheres, you have to increase the value now. Go on the tag. Here it's moving object. Moving objects. Okay. Go on this tab and go in cache. And nope. Dynamic. And you can click on set initial state. After click here, when you go back to the frame 0, you have the same position for all spheres. Okay, the issue here is those keyframes, because we still have in the tab force follow position, and it's the first position, so it's here. Okay, so I will right click on these options, animation, and delete track. It will delete every keyframe for these options. And now I have to put the value of 0, of course. Okay, now it's perfect. Okay, I can activate my sphere. Up, I can activate my sphere and see what's happening. Boom. By default, in Cinema 4D, the mass of an object depends on its size. So here I will decrease the size of these balls. Okay, it's too huge, and the simulation will be very different. Okay. But I still want this sphere to be very massive. So I go in this tag and I have mass. And I can use a custom density, and I will do it. And in density, I will increase this value. And now if I hit play, you can see this ball is very massive. And don't care about little spheres. When you want to move an object with a simulation, a tag simulation on it, you always have to go back in the frame 0. Okay, now I can move my object and restart my simulation. Okay, if I delete or remove this tag now, my sphere will save this position. Okay, so it's a nice way to put an object on the floor, or lots of objects on the floor. You put the simulation, you wait, and after you delete the tag. But here I don't want to do it. Okay. So before starting the final simulation, for me everything looks nice. Okay, you can increase the amount, restart another initial state. Okay, you can clear the first one, increase the value. Force, I have to repeat my keyframes. Okay, launch, disable big sphere. Waiting. I'll do it. I come back after. Okay, now I will speak about something very important. If I zoom in, okay, we can see that our sphere are not touching perfectly the plane. You have some options, some hidden options. You have to hit Ctrl D to have the parameters of the project settings, and you have dynamic tabs here. In the dynamic tab, you can go in expert. By the way, you can see the gravity. This value 1000 is very good for the natural gravity. Okay, you can go in the expert tab, and here you have a collision margin, 1 centimeters. If I click my little spheres here and I check the radius, my sphere are very little, and 1 centimeters, I think it's what I see here. So Ctrl D, and I will decrease this value. Don't put 0, I will put 0.1. Okay. Maybe it's too heavy, so 0.03. Okay, I prefer to have a very little value here, because if you put 0, sometimes the object, you can see the object go through the plane. So you have to choose if you want something flying or something going through. Okay, for me, I don't care about the bottom of the simulation, so this value is okay. To increase the quality of the simulation, you have to increase steps per frame, okay? 5 means that Cinema 4D will calculate 5 times by frame. We'll calculate 5 times the simulation each frame, okay? If I put 15, this simulation will be more correct. I really liked 15 value for my final simulation. Of course, the simulation will take more time. You can see it's lagging now, but it's okay. It's okay because I will use cache. To put your animation in cache, because if I go in the frame 60, as you can see, it's not moving. I don't have my simulation. So I go back, I guess my sphere don't move because, yes, I have, when I start my render, the recording, Cinema 4D is always creating a keyframe. I put it again, okay. I will click on a tag and go in the cache, and you can bake one object or you can bake all tags. In my case, I really want to bake everything, so I click here, and you can see Cinema 4D calculate everything and write the information on your computer. It allows you, after that, to go everywhere in your timeline and see what's happening in the simulation. And you can go forward and backward. Arrière, en avant. forward and backward, yes, and see where is all of your object. It's very, very powerful. Okay. Perfect. Now you have the simulation. I can go at the frame 16 and I can see where are my balls. My huge balls. Sorry for that. Okay, now it's very nice, and yeah. I will give you some quick information for the texturing. So I use Octane Render. I use an Octane Sky with HDR environment and Octane Daylight. Don't forget to check Mix Sky Textures, okay, to have your Octane Daylight and your Octane Sky together, and to have this nice SSS on the sphere. I suggest you to use diffuse material. I created a nice tutorial on internet. You can check this video. It's I speak about SSS. You will know everything about it. If you want to be very, very quick, I will show you. It's very simple. You can go here in the node editor, and you have to disable the diffuse and put a high value in the transmission. And you can put a scattering medium to improve your SSS. And it's a way you can have a very nice and smooth SSS. It's better to use the diffuse SSS in this case because it's more fast to calculate for Octane. It's more easier. Okay, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and to subscribe and activate the bell for other tutorial. I hope to see you in the motion designers community in the Facebook group. It's a very nice group, very nice family. So see you. Ciao.